we've been owning and operating fitness facilities for about the last 22 years, mostly in the Midwest and Mid-South. So we've been at it a long time and owning our own stores. We started thinking about franchising probably going back into 2012, 13, 14. We were actually franchisees for other brands in the wellness space, and we were having some good success there. So we were able to see kind of how a larger franchisor system operated and, kind of the good, the bad, and the ugly within that system. And we took a lot of those principles to basically take our health clubs that we owned privately ourselves for a long time and started franchising officially in 2015, 2016. We brought out our first batch of franchisees that were in the system. Today we're proud to say we have 9 franchisees in the system that have 21 territories in total and growing at a pretty steady clip today. Our core mission at heart is really, the way we talk about it at our office, is about creating stars in every community. So early on in the business, we were, it was all around finding ways to service communities and help people. And as we kind of officially launched our franchise system, we wanted to make that a kind of a core fundamental principle of the way we think about, serving others, really. So we have a nice look that we think is one of our unique brand propositions and one of the things that identifies us in the communities that we operate. And so the way we talk about it is like really the mission is about creating stars in the community. And a star can be a franchisee team member that joins a system that is having success and ultimately being their entrepreneur and living their dreams. A star could be a member that comes and sees us and wants to lose 30 pounds, that we help facilitate an environment and a coaching platform to do that. A star could be a team member that joins the company that has, a great job throughout college and, as they go on into their own career. So at the end of the day, we want to be that kind of incubator of positivity and leadership in a community that people can basically enhance their lives. When we made the leap to franchising, we had a little bit of franchising experience as franchisees. So that kind of helped shape a little bit of our, our experiences through that was, we had a really good experience with another brand that we were involved in. So we were able to see kind of how the franchisor-franchisee relationship worked. And kind of at the same time, we were owning health clubs, right? So we were in the business and we had a really good understanding of how that worked. We were probably about 15 years into the business at that point, so we were able to kind of learn about franchising, frankly, through experience. And, that kind of set the stage for us taking the lead to go through some of the initial components of franchising with your FDD and some of the operations manual that we built over the previous decade. A lot of that stuff was kind of incubated through trial and error and success and learnings. So that's kind of how we got started. And then kind of fast forwarding into a few locations that we had corporately, we were able to basically take them, and we wanted to focus on initially just operationally having really good performance. So we built our own facilities, get them profitable. And then our initial batch of franchisees was those in the system that were having operational success, that we would take it and we would virtually just exit the business and sell it back to them. And we kind of officially became a franchisor through those transactions. So that kind of got us into the franchising game. And then as we've kind of set up plan of growth, we've been blessed to come across the the SMB team and other key vendors that have enabled us to scale a little bit quicker, to identify parts of the business that we can improve on as a franchisor. So I think we met Steve and Brian probably going back about 2 years ago, back in 2022, 2023 at a franchise expo. And we hit it off with them. And at that point for us, we were in the franchising game. We had a steady slew of franchisees in the system, but we really wanted to grow and scale. And we want to be able to take that next leap as a system. So they've been a great strategic partner for us over the last 2 years to really help us identify some of those gaps in the business or things that we can improve on as a franchisor to offer, at the end of the day, the best support that we can to our franchisees. Because that's kind of how we're going to grow. By creating franchisee success is how we're going to be able to move more territories, get more people in a position to be business owners and ultimately be successful as a franchisor. Thinking about our relationship with SMB and some of the relationships that they've been able to connect us with, it's been really helpful as we especially think about like franchise development and the sales process within the system. They've been key in connecting us with other people in the industry that have infrastructure and support that would align with where we want to go as a brand. So that's been tremendously helpful. And then as we think about, we're still a founder-led company, we're still a bootstrap company. And so as we think about the next level of success and partner for us, they're, I think, going to be instrumental in helping us kind of connect those dots to make sure that we make moves that align with, at the end of the day, where we see the brand going. When I think about the most rewarding part of the journey so far, I really think about the team and the people that we have that do it with us. A lot of our franchisees, a lot of our people at the corporate office that on our support staff, our former athletes, are people that have been maybe in team sports that love just working with other people and understand that team dynamic, that sometimes it's not always perfect, right? It's not always wins every day stats, kind of like life, right? There's roller coaster rides, there's ups and downs, but I think at the end of the day, if you're doing it with the right people, with good people, you can really make great things happen. And when I think about like what we can all achieve as a unit combined, it's so much greater than what any of us can do individually. So to me, that's the fun about franchising. It truly is like that ultimate team sport. And for us, that creates a lot of fun and excitement. So as I think about, as we kind of made that leap from owning our own locations to now being a franchise system, there's definitely been a transition of, I guess maybe day-to-day functions or how we think about the business. Now, we still have some locations that we're heavily involved in and we kind of own and operate. So when you're in the trenches, you're really focused on things like labor and training with the staff and leadership and KPIs and managing budgets and some of those things and interacting with the clientele, right? The customers, to make sure they're having a great experience. And all that comes with that. And that's a tremendous amount of work. So as we've scaled and did a handful of locations, we found that like, man, there might be a more efficient way to think about scaling this because we have a business model that's effective, that's working. So how can we put others in a position to succeed and take on some of the, I guess the blocking and tackling within a business that is so critical to being successful. So that's kind of where the franchising idea was born for us on the fitness side of now our focus is really looking at like where our industry trends going. What should we be bringing into the business that'll be helpful for the unit so that they can maintain profitability and even be more profitable, right? Kind of looking around the corner to see where trends and things are coming, where we can add the most support and value for our franchisees so that ultimately they can do what they love and be successful, guiding their teams to success.